welcome back to the Healing and Wisdom channel. I'm Dr. Crystal Nix, chiropractor and certified acupuncturist, and we're continuing our series on living seasonally. So this season is more of our summer season, so we're going to focus on living seasonally for the summer, both in an emotional way so that we can rise to our full potential, as well as physically, which we'll do in our next video. So that will be more for like herbs and foods that will help you rise to your fullest during the summer season. Whereas today we're going to really focus in on just feeling like we can be able to be prepared for the summer. So my intention, I thought I'd let you guys kind of know like a little bit more about why I thought that this type of topic would be helpful. So as I started learning more about Chinese medicine and grew an understanding about the principles of living seasonally and knowing that there are rhythms within the year, as well as that we have different elements that relate to us personally, it helped me to have a little bit more understanding of both myself as well as the world around me. So for the part where it's going to focus more on ourselves, that would be taking the elements quiz, which you can do for free. The link is below this video. You can also do the webinar if you want to do that. But today we're going to really focus more on understanding the world around us and having that maybe reflect for us to know like how we can really be able to stay rooted during the different seasons of life. So again, with it being summer season, just think of reflecting on the world around us during the summer. So it's hotter, right? And the plant life is just bursting. It's not just blooming like it did in the spring. Now it's bursting, and there can be like a wildness about it where we have to do a lot more pruning and lawn mowing, and just there's a lot more need to bring some structure in because it does have that wild tendency during the season. And think of fire. So the summer season has a Chinese element, which is called the fire element. And so we can actually be a fire element type of person. So we can experience certain themes of the summer throughout our life because we might be more of a fire element type of personality. But we all, despite our different elements personally, for all of ourselves personally, we all experience some extent of that fire or that summer type of tendencies within the the season of summer. So think of, again, with fire, there's more volatility with it, and it's again got this kind of wild nature about it. So with the summer, it's full of passion and it's full of excitement, and there's great opportunities, but we do have possibly the tendency of it going overdone, like our passions and our excitement, our joys kind of overextending ourselves. So one of the things that we'll want to do is focus on bringing in some structure. But before we do that, I want to just kind of explain to you, within traditional Chinese medicine, there are certain emotions tied to the different meridians. So in Chinese medicine with acupuncture, we work with the different meridian systems of the body. And within those systems, there are certain emotional tendencies where if we're imbalanced within those meridians, we can have those types of emotions show up in an imbalanced way. So for the fire element or the summer related meridians, we'll go through each of them. There are 4 of them, and there are 2 pairings. So we'll go over the emotions for each of the 2 pairings. So the first pairing is the small intestines and heart meridians. So with those meridians, if we're imbalanced, we might experience the emotions of lost and vulnerable, or the emotion of frightfully overjoyed. So the way that I like to explain frightfully overjoyed, it's where we might look and appear happy, but inside we don't really feel that way. So those are the first pairing of emotions where we can get imbalanced in the fire element. The second pairing are for what are called the triple warmer and pericardium. So these kind of deal more with the hormone systems of our bodies. So again, if we're dealing with imbalance, the emotions that can show up could be muddled instability or non-thinking, non-emotive. So the first one, think of muddled instability. It's like we feel like we're just kind of like in the mud, in the muck, and just feeling kind of unstable there. Like we could see the good, we could see the bad, and we're just not really sure what to do with it. So if you look at all four of those, there is that common theme of there being just this ungroundedness. There's just kind of like this feeling of lack of stability. So what we'll want to do is focus in now on how to bring a little bit more stability in. So we're gonna now focus just on some balancing practices. So a couple things that you might want to do is, first off, just have some sort of routine. That might sound boring, especially during the summer, but think of, like if, when you were younger, or if you are younger and you're going through the summer is your time off, and it's, we could like be so excited that we can actually sleep in and do fun things, but after a couple weeks of doing that, we get to this point of, I feel a little bit lost, I kind of overslept, I've overdone the junk food, or those sorts of things. So if we can go in with an intention already of having some sort of regularity or something to bring stability into our lives, then we might be able to go through the summer with more gracefulness and more balance. So that structure might just be like having a time that you're like, this is my time that I wake up, or this is my time when I turn off the electronics at night, or this is when I want to go to bed, or a couple other ideas. So especially with the fire element, when we're imbalanced, as we described, we can feel kind of, like I said, just almost like our thoughts could be wild. And like, again, thinking of the plant life being wild and bursting, it's just, it can be just overthinking. So what we might want to do is be able to substantiate and bring some structure to our thoughts, to our dreams, to our frustrations even, and therefore be able to bring some sort of solution and maybe even have some sort of theme that we're understanding within our rumination. So ways that we can do that could be journaling. The funny thing is that I find that fire element people are much more capable as speakers, and they aren't always as interested in writing. So journaling, I love to do. I'm more of a water and wood element person, but for the fire element type of person, you might really enjoy talking things out. So this would be really great to have a counselor. If you're like, okay, I'm kind of pinched on money time or whatever, or you just want to kind of do some self-reflecting before you go into counseling, or just to have that relationship with yourself, just recording your voice, like going through your different thoughts and being able to just say, oh, I feel this way, I really love this, I'm kind of confused about this. Just listen to yourself on your voice memo and play it back to yourself, and then be able to maybe pinpoint some certain themes. Then from there, you can either bring in some sort of routine to either make a step towards your dream or your passion or your desires, or even be able to maybe bring in some balance of like, okay, I'm dealing with, like, I really want to feel healthier, so maybe I can do some of the things we'll suggest in the next video with like some of the seasonal foods or the herbs or the different essential oils that we'll talk about. Or you can do like just more of a, like, tap into what type of exercise that speaks to you. So those are some ideas, or even just a gratitude journal might be helpful, just to feel like, okay, I am experiencing so many fun things, or I want to experience so many fun things during the summer, but they're all swirling in my head. So just having some way of substantiating it, if it's gratitude journal, or if it's like writing out some of the things that you would like to do, or just doing that recording. Those are some ideas. Another thing that is plentiful, again, and available during summer as opposed to like the winter, is grounding. So we don't necessarily find it as comfortable grounding in the winter if it's snowing and it's cold on our feet, and there's no grass. So this is a great time where you can actually ground, and this is, of all seasons, one of the most needed seasons to ground, because again, it tends to be more wild and volatile and like all in our head. We want to be able to really feel like we are rooted and not just like going crazy there. So finding your preferred like piece of nature to ground on would be really helpful. So in Florida, the grass is not always that great, and I don't know what's gonna crawl on me. So I'm not really a grass grounder. I actually prefer more the sand, or even stone, because then it's cool. Even dirt could be good. So just kind of find your material that you like and be able to just put your toes in there, or even put your hands in there, and just, if it's the grass, you can just feel it. But that way you can be able to ground and to feel more centered. So speaking of, we're now going to switch to a couple different acupressure points, as well as a couple meditations that we can share with ourselves as we hold over the different meridians that we talked about, and bringing an intention as we hold over those, so we can bring a little bit of centering in. So the next acupressure points are from your wrist. So find, where the crease is in your wrist and in the center of it. So basically down from your middle finger, place right where your crease is, where the wrist crease is, place 3 fingers down, and then you have landed now on the next acupuncture point. So this is for the triple warmer meridian. And if you flip over just on the opposite side of where your ring finger is, you now have 2 points. You're working on your pericardium and your triple warmer meridians. So if you want to swap out, I actually like my index finger on that triple warmer point. And now you can be able to do acupressure for 2 points within that one location. Well, I should say within the 2 locations, but finding it with those 3 finger widths. Here, I'll just do it now on the other wrist. 3 finger widths down from that crease in the wrist. Where you land, where that ring finger lands, is where you can be able to do your acupressure. I again switch out with my index finger. And again, 30 seconds. So just kind of like a gentle pinch your grip type of pressure, or you can do more of like a rotation, however it feels more comfortable for you. Again, just so that you can get some movement within those meridians so you don't feel stuck. So now what we're gonna do is, now that we brought some movement within those meridians and we're not as stuck, we can now bring in an intention within those channels. So within Chinese medicine, we look at the different acupuncture pulses. So the way that we find them, I'm only going to show you 2 because you only need the 2 right now for the summer. So the way that we do this is coming down from that thumb bone, again where that wrist crease is. Immediately below that, you have now found your your small intestines and heart acupuncture pulse. It's on the left hand. So on the left hand, immediately below that thumb, right in that wrist crease, you'll find your small intestines and heart meridian. So what we'll do is we're going to be holding over that one point, and then we're going to hold across a couple different acupuncture points related to our emotions, and be able to bring some centering there. I'm going to share just kind of like an idea for a meditation that you can bring while you're breathing and holding over this specific acupuncture pulse point. And then actually what we'll do is we'll just hold over the acupuncture pulse point. I'll show you how to do the breathing for both sides, and then you can bring in a meditation after. So We're gonna hold just like this across these 2 points on our forehead while we're holding on that small intestine's heart point. And we're just gonna do 3 breaths. So nice deep breath in and out. Again, nice deep breath in and out. And one more deep breath in and out. So this could be a great practice to start and end your day with acupuncture pulse breathing, as well as the acupressure points. If you prefer one over the other of just the breathing or just the acupressure, do what feels good. So now we're on the right hand. So again, coming down from that thumb bone in the wrist crease, we're gonna now go 3 finger widths down. Where that ring finger lands, now you are on the triple wormer and pericardium acupuncture pulse point. So this, again, you're gonna actually hook around. So did you see how I did that? So let's actually do this again. So coming down from the thumb bone in that wrist crease, holding 3 finger widths down. Now using that where your ring finger lands, we're gonna hold there on that pulse point and do the same with our breathing. So again, we're holding across the forehead and we're gonna take 3 gentle breaths. So nice deep breath in and out. Nice deep breath in and out. And last one, breath in and out. So this is a really great way to feel centered during the summer, because now you're holding over those fire element acupuncture pulses. So bringing in some fresh breath and air and now space within those thoughts that can maybe get a little bit wild, like we talked about during the summer. So now let's bring in a meditation. So you could either do this while you're holding over your acupuncture pulses or over your acupressure points. So again, with the summer, it's about embracing the good that we love and enjoying the summer and enjoying the fun and the excitement of the summer, and knowing when we might have had enough, and knowing like when it might be too much, and bringing in some sort of wisdom and structure. So the meditation that I felt would be good, and I feel is good both for me, and I was hoping maybe is even good for you, would be along the lines of, I enjoy the good around me, and I welcome the wisdom of knowing when I've had enough. And I'm going to switch acupuncture pulses and bring in one final meditation of, I listen to and yield to this wisdom of knowing between the good and when I've had enough. And just breathing that in. So I hope that this can bring you some sense of preparedness for the summer. In our Whole Women Link group, our intention for this year was rooted in belonging, rising prepared, and bearing the fruit of peace. And so right now, with having this understanding of what types of emotions might show up during the summer more often for all of us, because it is a bit more of a wild season, it's a hotter season, it's more fiery. There might be some of these emotions and thoughts that just kind of are swirling around more than we need. Bringing in some of this rootedness and rising prepared is what I hope for you this summer, so you can really thrive and have such a beautiful summer season. I'll see you at the next video where we're going to talk more about seasonal eating, as well as seasonal herbs and essential oils that will support you through this summer season. Love you guys.